Hey Peter, just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. I heard that you were turning 75 this year, and I gotta say, you look young for 75. Oh boy. This was the retirement video. I have a birthday video to do after this one. Yours is a retirement video. Let me start over. Peter, I just wanted to congratulate you for all your time spent at Northwestern. 75 years at Northwestern is a long time, and some of it's spent, doing great, impactful things. I'm just kidding. Um, I'm recording this video, Peter, obviously to tell you, how great it was to have worked with you and gotten to know you. Usually, when people leave the university, I'm struck with one of two feelings, and this, isn't one of them. Feeling one is see you later, goodbye, good riddance. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. You've been here, not 75 years, but let's say close to 75 years. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people come and go who shouldn't have been hired in the first place, or they got off to a good start and things went downhill, whatever that is. On the other side, when people leave, sometimes I'm shocked because I feel like we were just starting to get somewhere. They were going to do such great things, they had such great potential, or my relationship with them was just kicking off, and I'd looked forward to working on a lot of projects with them. But I think in this case, it's very different. I know that retirement is something, that is very difficult for a lot of people. And I think finding the right time to retire can be difficult for a lot of people. And I think, the circumstances being what they are with a worldwide pandemic, the opportunity to retire and the ability to retire being happening at the same time is really sort of a magical thing. And so for that, I congratulate you. I know that you are not leaving the university so much as you're leaving your position as associate dean. And so I think, again, you fit into this third category of people who are retiring and leaving the university at a time where I've only been here 7 years. And I'd say, I'm not telling this person, don't let the door hit you on the way out. And I'm not looking at this person saying, we just got to know each other. I feel like I've actually gotten to know you quite well in the short time that I've been here, even though you've been here, a good 30 years. I remember before we started working together, when I just started at the university, maybe my first 2 or 3 years, I always knew Peter Kay at a distance as someone who was very friendly, someone who was great to work with, someone who was always very positive and having great impact on programs in SPS. But it was more recently, maybe in the last 2 years, that I got to work with you directly when we worked on your course with Chrissy, the Organizational Behavior Half Credit Lunchtime course. And in that instance, I felt a little bit of pressure. I thought, wow, this important person, Peter Kay, I'm going to be working with him on a project, even though my role would be maybe a little less than the learning designer. I never felt that way in that project, and I felt when I did have ideas that you were open to hearing my ideas and you strongly considered my ideas. And, I can't say that about sometimes a lot of the faculty that I'm assigned to work with. So for someone in such a prestigious place to treat me more or less as an equal and to consider my professional ideas professional was actually quite an honor. And then obviously towards the end there, when we were working together on the videos, at that point I had become a graduate student myself, and I thought that my own orientation had left something to be desired. And so as I commented several times when I was working with you on that, that a lot of your insights that you were offering to these, students incoming to the post-baccalaureate programs and pre-medicine and pro-health, really I felt that I was a student too. In those instances, and that your advice really worked for me. And it's things that I think about, when I take my classes and talk to my colleagues. Excuse me. Aside from that, I remember a couple times that we rode the bus somewhere between the office and the train stations. And that was really where I learned that you were really an authentic guy, not just at work, but outside of work. A lot of times I get on the bus or the train with someone I know from work, and they either put their eyes down and they don't want to have anything to do with anyone who isn't part of their personal life outside of work, or they sit down and the conversation is very difficult. It's very unnatural. People feel obligated to talk to you. Oh, you're a coworker of mine. We're on the same bus. We should chit chat for a few minutes. Not always the case, but I know that we did talk a couple times, and they were, normal public conversations. We weren't forced to talk about work, or we weren't forced to make idle chit chat. And so between getting to know you professionally and getting to know you personally in such a short window, that makes it really sad. It makes it really hard to see someone leave when you care about them so much. And I think if I had to characterize who you were or who you are to people, in a few years from now, when your name comes up and people say, oh, who is Peter Kay? What did he do here? I would tell them this. I would tell them that Peter Kay is the most important and smartest person at the university that I've ever met, who never once reminded me how much smarter or more important than me he was at the university. And that is impossible to come by, nearly impossible to come by, in a lot of situations, but especially at Northwestern. So I'll end on that note that, I'm so glad to have met you and so glad to have worked with you. And, there's not a lot of people at the university like you. And so for that reason, you will be missed. Definitely by me, I know by everyone at Distance Learning, and probably a lot of people across the university. So I hope that wherever you are and whenever it is that you're watching this video, that you're reflecting fondly on your time at the university, as up and down as it may have been. Again, I was there for such a small fraction of it, that I would never really have known you on a bad day. And I would, for the most part, have imagined that most of your bad days were behind you. So I hope everything's going well in your semi-retirement, and then when you do reach your actual retirement, that it gets even better. And, best of luck to you, and, don't be a stranger.